Originally, I started with the company in January of 2019, and now I'm renovation superintendent. So I run our job site down in Bloomington, College Square Apartments. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I've actually been to prison 3 times. I've got a total of 8 plus some years incarcerated in different prisons in Indiana, all because of drinking. My first charge was a DUI resulting in death. I had a wreck in 2003, and my best friend died, and that's what I went to prison for that. Then I stayed out for a long time, and then I got another DUI, like almost 10 years later. Didn't really try to stop drinking after that, so I got out of prison and just immediately started drinking again. And then on this last one, because I was still on probation and wasn't really showing a desire to change, so they gave me 8 years in prison. So I did almost 5 before I got out again. So my family goes to Mercy Road Church, and my mom was telling me about Ethan and about the program they had. Because even though I had a skilled trade, I had no work history. It's hard to jump right back in and I'd burn a lot of bridges because of my drinking within my trade, you know. So I got thrown out of the union and all that kind of stuff, just because of it not showing a desire to change or really get better. And then him and I communicated a couple times while I was incarcerated. I got out it was like November or something, and they put me in work release, and pretty much the first Monday after the new year of 2019, I started working. It's really good. There's a lot of camaraderie. It's really interesting. There's kind of when you're in prison, things are kind of different. There's a lot of just tension in general, you know, like what you see on television. That does happen a lot. But there's also a camaraderie among people that have been in prison, especially once we're released. Like all of that stuff, the tensions that went away when you're inside kind of go away once you get released. So there's a lot of like brotherhood and sisterhood amongst us, because there is a lot of stigma involved, you know, and the asset team's great for that. And the fact that most people don't realize that the average citizen doesn't realize things that if you've been to prison, you can't get out and go rent an apartment. Apartment complexes are going to deny you. I couldn't get out of prison and just go rent an apartment. Not right out the gate. You know, it wouldn't matter how much money I had. It wouldn't matter. They would just automatically deny me. So we really kind of set them up to fail as a society. So that's one of the great things about doing that is because, you know, he enables them to have a place to live at a discount, things like that, which they wouldn't have. I was kind of an anomaly within the asset team because I came in with a trade already. And I came in having a lot of experience working with my tools and things like that. Whereas most of the people on the asset team didn't really have that, you know. And a lot of the studies have shown, I mean, a lot of people go back upon release to their old behavior because they can't find a way to make enough money to live on their own and do any kind of support system for their children or anything like that. They believe in a hand up, not a handout. And I really think that's good, you know, because you do kind of get in a victim mentality when you've done a lot of time. You feel like the system's wronged you, feel like you deserve to have things handed to you. You know, it also goes along with addiction a lot, you know, being in recovery. I mean, I played the victim a lot of my life, and it just enabled me to keep justifying my own behavior to myself. Granted, there are some unfair things that have happened to me, unfair things that have happened to others, but at the end of the day, I'm responsible, you know? So, and that's a hard lesson to learn. I think giving them a place where they can get some experience working, you know, going to work every day, being accountable to other people on a team, being accountable to a company, having to learn that you represent the company, you know, things like that. It can create pride. It helps give them some skills, you know, and a lot of them have moved on to better things. Well, I'm currently in school, finishing my degree in construction management. I transferred all my credits over from psychology to that. Yeah, I actually just bought a home. So I moved in 3 weeks ago. Which was a big deal. I mean, I definitely celebrated that. I sent Ethan an email. I was like, you know, I was in prison 2 years ago and I bought a house, you know, and that's that's pretty amazing. You know, I bought a new car, I bought a house, things are going well. My own personal spiritual journey definitely involved the church. Um, when I kind of had this anonymous, unfaced God, I had bouts of sobriety, but it never really took. And I met some people while incarcerated that kind of became my mentors in the Christian faith. I live on the east side now, and I'm engaged, and she has kids from her marriage, and so we go to a church within their school district where they have friends and stuff, called People's Church. But yeah, it's very important to me. My family also goes to Mercy Road, so the spiritual component. I mean, that's what I do. Every day I get up, shower, pray in the shower, go to work. And that's my day every day. And I got baptized in December with my fiance. We got baptized together. So yeah, I can't do anything without the spiritual component in my life. I think my hope started originally, as I got into the Word. To be honest, I don't have as much time doing it now on the outside as I did incarcerated, but that kind of goes to figure, And, I just had none. I don't know if my story is unique or not, but when I was in prison, people would be like, you have everything. And you just keep, why? And I'm like, maybe it all does come down to hope. I just didn't have any. I didn't feel like my life could ever be any different. I hated myself. I felt like I deserved to be that way, because I'm from a successful family. I was given everything in my life, and I spent years homeless, a homeless drunk, because I wasn't allowed to be around my family because I couldn't be around them drinking and things like that. And I can't think of a more hopeless existence, so at the end, to me, it doesn't really necessarily matter where you came from. If you don't have that hope, if you don't feel like things can be different, or that you can be different, then you're not really ever going to go anywhere, And I don't carry that hope with me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I have bad days at work. I was grouchy last night when I got home, and my fiance was like, man, you're crappy. You need to change your attitude before you get home, And it was just one of those days. But, every day's new. I think a lot of having the seed of hope in there is that you weather the bad times, because it does come through. I get grouchy, but, a decade ago when I had a bad day, I'd throw everything away over one bad day. I'd be like, today was terrible, so I'd go and drink. Or I'd go and doing some other self-destructive behavior just because I had a bad day. Or I just up and quit my job because I had a bad week at work, and I don't do that anymore. And I guess, like I said, you could say that that's because of hope, because deep down I still have that, which comes back to the spiritual aspect. Because I know that it's all going to come around, and eventually it's going to be dark, eventually it'll be light again. That's life, so